Hey everyone, Ryan here, or M&R Productions, with my review of the LEGO Star Wars late 2016 Sergeant Jyn Erso buildable character, given set number 75119 with 104 pieces. This set retailed for $25 in the US, and it is not a very beloved set. It's more of a memed on set, and this set on eBay goes for like $10 sealed. Like, it is one of the least popular, worst selling LEGO Star Wars sets. Maybe it was just overproduced, I don't really know, but it definitely is not performing well in the secondary market now that it's retired, and it's one that certainly gets memed on the channel. What I really like about the buildable characters is that they all have this kind of unifying box art theme, where on the side they have the character profile shot, and then you have kind of this fade into black. I just really like that about the buildable character boxes, and you can kind of line them up, and they would look really cool there. On the back, it shows off Jyn Erso's dimensions. You can see she's just shy of 10 inches, or 25 centimeters. You also have the features of the character on the left, with another shot of the character as the centerpiece on the right, and then down at the bottom it shows a couple other buildable characters from that Rogue One wave with K2SO and the Death Trooper. God, I love that Death Trooper. But yeah, that's pretty much all you get with these sets, and again, $25 is a bit pricey for what is essentially an action figure in this case, so that's kind of why I think these ended up failing, and especially this one, which didn't look good to begin with because these humanoid faces on buildable figures just didn't really work. Let's open this. So the instruction manual, of course, is included, run-of-the-mill LEGO instruction manual, except in the back, it's going to show off some art for other 2016 Rogue One sets, as well as other buildable characters, or the 3 that we see total on the box, and then another nice shot of some of them on Scarif. So that's kind of nice. And then, of course, all of the parts will be included in non-numbered bags. Let's take a look at this thing completed. I believe this is my first time building and like seeing a buildable figure in a couple of years, and my god, I kind of forgot how somewhat disproportionate these are. I just feel like Jyn Erso's legs are way longer than they should be. I don't know, you guys tell me, when you look at it at like angles like this, does she not look like her legs are just ginormous compared to the torso and arms? They just really feel really long. I know that just happens to be how long the Lego pieces are, I suppose, but hey, that is what it is. It's something I noticed kind of right off the bat. For what it's worth, they gave her a decent torso print with a pretty solid amount of detail, kind of showing that brown jacket or whatever it is she's wearing in the film, which is nice, I suppose. It just obviously isn't going to translate well because you're building on some figure that really doesn't look that great. I think in general, buildable figures have never really caught on. I think there's a reason they are canceled now, and most of it is just going to be the look of it. I mean, it's just not that appealing in most ways, especially with these human-like characters. I mean, her face looks like, it looks like a Barbie face, more or less, I suppose. Really straightforward, very low detail in it. Just kind of eyes and eyebrows, and then just a general shape of a nose and a mouth, like nothing special about that. Now, I will say the helmet piece or hat piece that is kind of tacked on there is a nice piece. I mean, it does look great as a mold, and has the little goggles on top in with the black on them. So, I mean, that's fine and all. Nice detail to it. Looks just like a Rebel soldier helmet would. Looking onto her back, she's actually got like a couple of pistol blasters on here, and that mostly will just kind of dangle around, which is moderately annoying, but you could just take them off like so if you don't want them to dangle around on her back. And so you can pull those off, and you can actually place them in her hands as well, so she can go with one of them, or you could actually even have her dual wield them. But again, the problem kind of is just how loose they are, and I guess some of that could be some fun imaginative play for children, right? Like, kids are going to have fun with that, but as far as like an actual reasonable thing that makes sense, not really going to be the greatest thing ever there. But it's a fun, like, extra built-in feature that I think is important to have, because these buildable figures as like play function things don't really provide much. Now, she does come with kind of like a sniper rifle blaster, and I actually really like the rifle here, because it reminds me of the L96A1 from Call of Duty Black Ops. I don't know if it gets those vibes to you guys, but it definitely gives those vibes off to me, and I really love it. So you can see the scope here actually moves around, and that's because the scope is going to be used as the piece that you can push down to force out the spring-loaded shooter in the front here, and you actually have an extra spring-loaded missile on the side. So if we shoot it off like so, gone, bam, and then you can pull this one out and load it on in, and so you do get 2 pieces of ammo for this particular rifle or weapon in this case. Now, obviously, the arms and whatnot are fully posable with plenty of joints there for you to move them around and do what you want with. Other arm going to be the same deal, and then the legs, even more the same there. They actually are very nicely posable. Like, that's a good thing about these buildable characters, is just how posable they make them. Obviously, it can be difficult to make them stand in some of the poses, but you can actually Well, I accidentally shut it off. But you can actually make them do some pretty crazy and weird looking things. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a big draw for a lot of people, but it certainly is kind of a feature of the buildable characters that you can get away with using like that. So, I mean, it's a fine thing. I've never been a big buildable character fan. I really don't even know how to, like, review this. It's just a big action figure made of Lego pieces, and for that I guess it does a good job of being what it's supposed to be. But again, I think there's a good reason these are now long discontinued for Lego Star Wars and Lego in general, from what I can tell. I mean, these just did not sell well, and Jyn Erso is certainly one of the worst offenders there. Buy one if you like it. They're actually really cheap because of how unpopular they are. I think you can get a brand new sealed one for under 10 bucks. So I mean, hey, if you want one, go get one, but I certainly wouldn't necessarily recommend you buy one. You're not going to get much use out of it, in my opinion. I was never big into action figures as a kid growing up, so I think that kind of translates here to what Lego tried to do, was basically create action figures made out of big Lego pieces, which, like, when you compare this to an actual, like, Lego set, they just aren't the same, right? Like, I know this is a Lego set and those are Lego sets, but let's be honest, this is conceptually entirely different than basically anything you see on the shelf. Maybe bar that little Bionicle guy down there that LJ Johnson gave me. Like, this is just not the same thing. So that's where I think I get lost on this as a non-action figure person. And maybe action figure people did really like these. I may have even appreciated them more as like a collectible to keep in the sealed box. So let me know what you think about this Sergeant Jyn Erso buildable figure in the comments below. It kind of is what it is. And subscribe for more Sergeant Jyn Erso buildable character content. Peace out.